Warning.
You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio. 7 Mile Radio.
And now for our feature presentation.
This is the kind of show. This is the kind of show we always dreamed of doing.
Impossible. Warning.
What's the word, my peoples? How y'all feeling this evening, this Thursday evening? It's 5 o'clock, and normally I don't go live on my personal pages with the podcast shows, but today, I just wanted to go do a little test run. You know what I mean? I got my brother Judo Woke Ace here with me. What's going on with you, my brother?
What's good? What's the word? What's the word?
Man, oh man. We was sitting here in the studio, man, just doing some little bit of show prep and research about some of the things we were going to talk about, man. We ran across this thing that was almost a segue of a topic that was discussed last night on the Pretty Dope Shit podcast on the network every Wednesday night at 10 o'clock that comes on. So I basically brought to the attention of the panel of that show that somewhere in the country, hard drugs have been legalized. Right, and I couldn't remember what state or what were the terms and conditions of the situation, but you brought to my attention the exact situation that I was talking about.
Right.
And it's a little bit deeper than what I actually knew or thought that I knew. In the state of Oregon, apparently, we have the first. Now, and I guess is this really what it looked like? Because that's what I wanted to read up on it.
Well, if you want to research, it's called Measure 110.
Measure 110.
You know what I'm saying? That's the legal term for it. It's called the legalization of hard drugs.
The legalization of hard drugs.
What would we put out there with hard drugs? Crack. I mean, we're gonna put the first one out there we're familiar with: crack, heroin, maybe fentanyl might be on there because it's a made-up substance. Maybe meth. Yeah, meth is on there. Meth is on there definitely. You know that's on there. We in Oregon, right? So meth is on there. Mushrooms. I know Denver legalized mushrooms.
Cocaine.
Yeah,
we said crack and cocaine. So.
Cocaine. Crack and cocaine different, but also you got drugs like ecstasy.
Okay.
What's the other one? Speed. These are hard drugs that's legalized in the state of Oregon in 2020 through the bill that was passed through in November called Measure 110.
And it's even as far now as far open now as dispensaries.
Right. And so
being
now
open distribute hard drugs. A crack dispensary.
Right. And so now with the Measure 110 coming out, you have crack dispensaries. Let's listen. This is real. Wake up, pinch yourself. We have crack dispensaries in the United States of America, Mark.
A black-owned crack dispensary. And the name of it is Black-Owned Crack.
Right.
Operated by a former crack dealer that opens a dispensary. Now, it's like, damn, on one end of it, it's like, you don't want to knock the brother. You know what I mean? We support black-owned businesses, but goddamn.
Right.
A legal crack. We got legal crack houses now.
I mean, would you like not?
But can we be mad? I mean, are we being discriminatory to certain drugs now because we were happy when the weed dispensaries opened? somewhat, I guess. You
Okay,
know?
in this crack dispensary, could we have like the butter crack,
Now they got flavor. Are they going to have the different flavors of the crack? They're going to have
like
like you said, the butter and the
Swiss cheese
Swiss
crack?
cheese, the crack with the holes in it. You know?
Crack with the holes. We got the white crack. We got the we might
You
have
the
the
Detroit.
we
Detroit
gonna test
Better
the
Made
crack.
The Better Made crack from Detroit, straight from
Better
Detroit.
made crack. You can get caught with like a quarter on you, and it's only like $100.
only $100
If you go over a
fine.
quarter, I think you can have a quarter on you of crack, and but if you go over the quarter, I think it's $100 fine. Heroin too. You can have the heroin. So what is this leading up to, Mark? With the crack dispensaries, we're gonna have heroin dispensaries. We're gonna have speed dispensaries and shit like the ecstasy
So now
dispensaries.
all of the people that were ever locked up, you know, incarcerated for distribution, sales
Right.
and distribution, for manufacturing, for trafficking.
In Oregon, though, in the state of Oregon, where Portland
Yeah,
right now.
especially in Oregon, right? Especially in Oregon, yeah.
But what's
going
going
to happen
on
to those people? is
What's
what I was
going
gonna
on
say.
right now in Portland right now as we speak?
As far as what?
We have the people that's going against the cops. I think they burnt a few precincts or something. Trump wanted to send the military into Portland because they wilding with the cops.
Mm-hmm.
They want they crack. They crack dispensaries. No,
Is
I'm
that
just
what
saying.
I'm about to say? That can't be
No.
what it's about.
Well, it was racist.
Probably
It was racist cops
uprising of the
that
same
was going on.
typical-
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we probably had a bunch of dealers out there too that was getting roughed up. You know what I'm saying? All type of shit was going on in Portland. But Oregon has now legalized hard drugs. That's some shit. 2020. I mean, this year has been really crazy. You know what I'm saying? We have seen everything, but I never would have thought that a state will legalize cocaine,
Crack.
crack,
Of
and
all
make a
things.
dispensary though.
Now it's illegal to sell.
Like I said,
That's hard to even
the
really
dispensary,
think
no.
that it's really real.
the dispensary's
It's
got
hard
to
to
have a
believe it's-
variety. We got to have the butter. Like I said, the Swiss, the all white, the cardboard smell crack. Let me get out of the streets.
No,
This is back in the day. You know,
Oh, you got experience in this. You know all
No.
about this shit, sir, huh?
just living in Detroit.
Yeah,
but
man,
you know,
it's crazy, man. that
so it's
they have
wild.
that.
It's wild what we seeing today. After they done locked us up for generations right now. 3 generations, I think. Maybe 4. We've been going through this drug war. And now they legalizing this stuff.
But then this particular drug, right, crack, in a state like Oregon, I don't know if, well, besides Portland, the population of African American people in the state of Oregon.
Well, let's track back right now. We was going through the crack epidemic. Now they going through it
Well,
in
what
the
I was-
small towns.
What I wanted to say was, it's funny how this black man is the face of the crack dispensaries. The drug that
Well,
we
he was.
know is
I think his story. He was an ex-felon that
Well,
used to
I
they used to
understand
sell
that.
crack. Now he
I
own a
I
crack
understand
dispensary.
that. But like this is the first one that we wouldn't have had a black man. I don't think made the face of a marijuana dispensary, and you know, for all to I guess. I feel like they're pandering to black people to get us to go buy crack, basically, right? Like,
Right.
the stuff that they know we're buying, weed, or that we're known for the popular drug. They'll put that in the hands of another ethnicity because we're going to patronize that
Right.
because they know we're going to go get that. That's where our money goes.
Well, let's play.
But
play
this one,
you know,
I believe, I feel like that's a play to get us to support that black business.
right. Right.
Like, oh yeah, it's cool to go buy crack now. Let's go buy it from the brother. You know what I mean? And,
But what else?
make
What
him
else?
the
What else
face.
would it would be the purpose though? What about the voting that's going on right now? Do I need you to be asleep while I push all these laws through? I need you to be on the crack, the heroin. We're gonna win these states. We're gonna start legalizing whatever they want, hard drugs. That way, we just pass whatever we want. They're gonna be doped up anyway. That's how I'm looking at it. You know what I'm saying?
That too, and this will, just like the marijuana dispensaries, I'm afraid, will spread across other states and begin to become legal. You know,
Well, you're
In
gonna see
Minnesota, it's gonna
a
trigger
lot of
easy.
hard drugs now is being taken, not just in the urban area, but in mass is in the small towns. It's an epidemic. You got places like Vermont, places like Pennsylvania, places like Ohio, Michigan, even up north, that has an epidemic. Wisconsin, I think Indiana. We reported on Truth Talk Nation. Indiana has the highest cases of AIDS in this one small town. Damn near everybody in the damn town got AIDS. Damn near everybody. But you don't know this. You can look this up. I think it's the town in Indiana has the most cases of HIV. Why is that?
The highest per population.
Right, but they had the highest cases right now ever. They getting AIDS per day, per minute. And this town only had probably only a few thousand. Because you have a lot of people right now, they're smoking the crack, they're doing the meth. They're doing the heroin.
Sharing needles.
Heroin has become cheap through the Mexican cartel. They got nickels of heroin. And so now you got the trailers and all that can afford the heroin. So now this is spread it all the way through Kansas, all the way through Missouri, places like Ohio, northern Michigan. This is why the militias, they talking shit. But they too up there got the meth labs. We know they got the meth labs. If you ever see a 30-year-old, teeth falling out, come on, we already know what that is. That's the meth.
And now they legalizing all of this shit.
Now they legalizing it. Why is that though? Why is they giving up and legalizing it? But like I said, you got the Portland, Oregon thing going on with the cops. You have a lot of integrated neighborhoods going on right now. Blacks moving on. Some of these urban cities is breaking up. People spreading out. And they hitting the new cities. Denver, Portland, Houston, Columbus, Ohio. These are the new cities. We thinking about the old cities. We got new cities that's sprouting up. Denver. So when people leaving the urban areas right now, typically like the Chicago, the New York, the Detroit, towns like, whatever, that's right now, that's drug ridden, they spread out and go to these new cities. So that's what we got going on, Mark.
Man, there's a lot of shit going on, man. 2020 has been a hell of a year, man. Between this election and now we got, Donald Trump trying his hardest.
Right.
To stay in office. Like he's not gonna, comply with the fact that he's been outdone in the vote. And that non-compliance may very well be.
Well, you can't say he was really outdone because before the election day he was kicking ass. Then we went to sleep. Then all these mail-in votes came in magically. And then you got towns or you got states like Georgia. Hold up. You got states like Georgia. Typically, this is deep South, right?
Right.
Republican ground. That's flipping blue. And then now they're saying, well, Stacey Abrams won this because when she was running for governor, she flipped the state. But she didn't even win her race. Right?
Right.
So how you gonna blame a person for flipping the state that a person that didn't even win they own election? I mean, they own runoff.
Yeah, they own seat. Yeah.
Right. They own seat as a governor. So how did she flip the state in the deep South? Really? Because Biden right now is winning. Majority of the votes is mail-in votes. I'm not a Trump supporter or nothing, but I'm just calling a spade a spade. Most of the votes right now, which he's kicking ass, is mail-in votes. And you can say, oh, yeah, well, people, but notice, most of the mail-in votes is Democratic. So the Republicans went out there.
That's what.
No independent.
That's. I heard that argument, I guess, from one of the
Several
Republicans.
people. It's a surge. The numbers just kept going up. It never goes like that in the election. It goes up, down, because you got people that vote. Different people that send their stuff in. No Republicans, no independent, no liberals sent their votes in. And that's
So
looking kind of weird.
We spoke on a couple of shows about ballot harvesting.
Right.
So do you feel like this election had what was tampered with? You feel like it was some fraud going on? Is actually what Donald Trump is saying? You do you believe him somewhat? I guess is what I'm
I
asking.
mean, we could just, like I said, we could just see it. Nobody votes just go straight up. It's this. We talking about algorithm. We talking about scales. We talking about graphs. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is how it goes. It goes up and down. Nothing just goes up. Just all Democrats just sent all their votes in the whole United States of America. That's kind of impossible. Really? You look at it. That's really impossible. How do you get majority 90% of your votes came in, mail-in was majority Democratic? So no Republicans sent it in, like I said.
Well, I mean, it would almost be the same argument on the flip side when you say, well, how did everybody go out to the polls and the majority of them voted Republican?
I mean, according to Detroit, we went out to polls en masse and we Democratic. How's that? How's Philly? How's Philly? We came out en masse and Democrats in Philly, in Atlanta.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't Republicans. It was everybody going out. And it's trust and believe. You know what I'm saying? How can it just be a majority Republican when Detroit turned out? When Philly turned out? Atlanta, Memphis. That's Democratic. Them are Democratic cities. New York. L.A.
So they're saying we had record numbers at the polls. It was all, and now
record number. Hold on, we had record numbers, but a bunch of people that didn't vote. I guarantee you do.
Mm-hmm.
In the Democratic city. So how we have record numbers? More than Obama?
So they was
more than Obama.
They fluffed on both sides.
On both sides. So the whole shit is a sham. To me, this election is played out with media. Straight media coverage. They calling the president notice.
Mm-hmm.
They telling you who can call the president, who can't. But while we worried about all that, we got militias preparing. They got the Million MAGA March that's going on this weekend.
Million MAGA March. What in the hell is that supposed to be?
But ain't nobody talking about that on the news.
Let me go. I gotta Google this right quick. See. The Million MAGA March.
But ain't nobody talking about that on the news. And they right now, they had caravans of people that's going to Washington, D.C. this
Proud Boys converging on D.C. for a Million MAGA March.
But have y'all heard of it? Why they ain't putting that on CNN?
2 hours ago. This is posted 2 hours ago.
2 hours? Of course it was. It's been posted all week.
What I'm saying, this is like I was saying at the same
time. No, I'm talking about like it's been going on all week. But they not announcing none of this on national news. We need to pay close attention to this because we got the militias, we got the Boogaloo Boys, and other factions right now. But while we in Detroit, Mark, we in the headquarters of the militia. They tried to kidnap a governor. They threaten lives. And right now, Michigan COVID cases is going up. They rising. And now we talking about another shutdown. Could we go through another shutdown, Mark? What is this shutdown going to do for local businesses? Small businesses. What that's going to do for them?
Yeah.
We can go into a straight chaos in the political structure or scheme that's going on is being played out in theater. And everybody keeps saying, why don't he step down? Or why don't Biden take over? Or why don't this go on? Why don't this? But let's break down concede. He has to concede first. For me to concede as a president, I have to step down and know everything was fair and square. You won fair and square. You beat me, and the new president elect will be the president. And not only that, we got the electoral college votes that's coming up in December, people. We don't vote for president. Electoral college vote for him. This is the 14th of December. So what if they in chaos? We already had some situations where some of the electoral college people wasn't voting what the state was telling them how to vote, which one state, say California or Michigan. If it's Democratic, some of the people in Michigan wasn't voting Democratic in electoral college, or they was in uproars with each other, beef with each other.
So a difference like this being stirred up could actually cause a disruption.
Now you have
in the electoral college to where now some of these people aren't voting the way they're supposed to, and now it causes
because you got supporters
who
on
we
both
thought
sides.
That was the president to not be.
We in a country that's 50-50. This is a 50-50 election, people. Where have this happened? Let's go back to history. We see this in third world countries, or when countries is falling. We have two leaders. One want to take over and say we tired of this, and another politician say, "Look, I want to continue it on." The other politician is lying. We seen this in Russia. We seen this in China with the movement of the communist movement right now. Back in the day in the 50s with the what was his name? I forget. But you can look this up. The playbook is the same. Now it's happening in America. Something we never thought would come here. We got the country divided right now. Why don't he step down? Well, you got the other people say, well, he got frauded. This is like the Hutus and the Hutus again, like I said. This is tribal. The Democrats and the Republicans.
We kind of at a we talk about a civil war happening in the country because of the differences that's going on in the political atmosphere right now, and people not believing in it, people not wanting to concede with the results of the election and whatnot. But it seems as if that we are, somewhat there already as far as we're like at a cold.
We have
war.
Networks beef.
It's like a cold civil war.
We got networks beefing. We got Fox beefing with other independent networks because some networks don't want to call.
It's a media war.
Right. Media war now. We got some networks saying, yeah, he's the president-elect. Some saying, no, it ain't over.
And this is persuading the thought process and the the opinions of the masses in the country.
Right.
This is where people are getting their thoughts from.
Right. And typically right now, people is getting their information. Most people is getting their information from the internet. Let's just sum it up. It's not CNN. It's not Fox. You have YouTube got more views, more, per hour, per minute than Fox. They can go live right now and do more numbers than Fox. Right now, on a situation, they go live right now on YouTube and outbeat CNN. And see, but you don't want to believe that. How can they do this? It's millions of people. No, the numbers speak the truth. Look it up. We got internet companies out doing major media establishments right now. More views per minute, per hour, per day, per month, per year. Right now, we got independent media that's out doing major media. How is that? How is millions being beat?
Because the mainstream media, a lot of times, as we all know, have a certain agenda behind the content that they put out.
Right. They're funded,
They're biased to a certain extent on certain things sometimes. A lot of these independent platforms come out and they have no biases. They're not funded from either side. They have no, vested interest in either side of the story. You know
Right, we talking to an expert right now, 7MileRadio.
But just the factual information is the vested interest of a lot of the independent, the genuine independent news companies. We do have some out there that are more of satire or even just gossip based and
Right.
and ratchetness based or whatever. But it's about the information at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Even those gossipy, ratchet based, it's all a certain type of information that they put out. You know what I mean? That people are
Could it be the more
to.
independent media is more faster on the stories?
Well, it sometimes they are.
Right.
I mean, I can attest to that.
Right.
Because sometimes the proximity that you're in relation to certain stories that may happen. Even sometimes you are just a little bit more thorough in the information that you receive as an independent outlet. You know what I mean? Because these corporate stations or whatnot, they have a whole lot more bullshit that they have to sift through.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know what I mean? As an independent, you probably take more time and sift through a lot more information. So you got a lot more jewels that you done dug out of certain stories. So, there's a lot of different components. You know what I mean? People trust independent outlets more. So sometimes they tell us more
Right.
accurate information.
They more
you know
real.
what I mean? So it's a lot of different components. The reason why independent is the thing now, as opposed to, the terrestrial corporate
Right.
broadcast and media outlets.
We speaking for an expert right now.
Yeah, and then another thing is that those independent media outlets are made up of real people that are, real. Not to say that people on the corporate level aren't real people, but these are, people that have not been
But we all know
forced into being something that they're really not.
We all know a lot of their sponsors persuade.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Sponsors persuade.
That's kind of what I mean by forced into being something that they're really not. You know what I mean? Because, they have to confide by the rules and terms and conditions of the network or the sponsors that are providing them the compensation that's keeping the whole engine going. You know what I mean? So,
right.
But
what could this mean? We got the independent media right now. We have the country split at 50-50. What do this mean right now? People stacking up on groceries. People stacking up on guns. They stacking up on bullets. You know what I'm saying? They fearing the country can go into chaos. We got militias right now saying the Constitution is being broken. We got we got people right now in the street saying that the country is being manipulated by two different parties right now. We got the Democrats. We got the Republicans. The Republicans is saying, it's a lot of he say, she say right now going on.
Right.
So what does this mean with the militias that's going on? We in Michigan right now. We got the videos. The militias, while we talking right now, the militias is preparing right now in the woods. They up there with the AR-15s, with the automatics, with the bombs, with the plots. What's they plots? They just tried to kidnap a governor.
They think we playing, man. Let's show them the video.
Let's show them the video.
There's a run on guns in Michigan.
Really nice, man. I like it.
And many are first-time buyers. They've gone back to the classroom to learn and into the shooting ranges because of fears of civil unrest.
Amen! Fire! And they come in and they don't even know the process. They don't even know what they have to do. All they know is they want to buy a gun. And I'm fielding over 100 phone calls a day for that too.
I know. Some believe the bigger, the better. Others want guns they can hide in their handbags. They're from all political sides and all driven by fear.
People are doing things that we've never even thought about doing before. Taking it to limits that we never thought about going before.
It's almost like a deterrent more than anything else. My goal is to never, ever have to use it.
Anything can happen, so you just want to be as best prepared. We're going grocery shopping after this. Stock up the cupboards. Stock up the cupboards.
Stockpiling food.
Well, not stockpiling, but just being comfortable just in case.
Dropping off signature on the back.
They've been dropping off their early votes amidst a legal battle about allowing guns at the polls on election day.
My concern is for our seniors who are going to come out to vote on the 3rd and have to worry about seeing a bunch of people outside with guns.
Get out and vote.
And this in a swing state where the FBI discovered a plot to kidnap the governor over her lockdown measures and where multiple militia are active.
Oh, it's horrible. You know, that's got to stop. These militiamen, they're radicals, you know. They consider them domestic terrorists, and they should be jailed. I hope we can catch them and put them in jail.
Whatever the election day outcome, America has a terror problem.
That toxic view of politics has been imported to our state.
And it's homegrown.
There's a ladder of escalation that, frankly, as a former CIA officer, I used to watch in terrorist groups abroad. You know, how does a young man in the middle of Iraq go from being, you know, a shopkeeper to a terrorist? Well, there's a ladder of escalation, and I never thought that I would be using those skills to watch extremism in my own country.
And there are multiple armed groups. Take the Boogaloo Boys, highly suspicious of the authorities and the media, but who agreed to meet us in North Michigan. They say they're not supremacists, just fighting government tyranny. But in the last few weeks, they're among several outfits purged from social media as part of a crackdown on militarized groups. We watched them preparing, they said, for civil war. Several Boogaloos have been arrested across a string of states accused of plotting violent attacks. But these men insist they're defenders of rights, including the right to bear arms.
As soon as we started coming to the public light, we were labeled immediately as terrorists, right-wingers, as even racists.
Part of that also has to deal with the fact that if you don't agree to their ideology, they're going to label whatever they want to label you.
Other people might sell freedom short, but that's not going to be me. So.
And in reality, what does that mean? Taking on people, shooting people.
I mean,
what does that mean?
Possibly could.
If it comes to that.
Yeah, if it comes to that, that could be an outcome.
A sheriff is supposed to take a stand and say, not in my county, if a unconstitutional law goes forth, such as a lockdown or, you know, gun confiscation or anything of that.
The election and the COVID restrictions have proved fertile ground for these militia to grow and recruit. The challenges they pose are going to be troubling America long after the polls close. Alex Crawford, Sky News in Michigan.
Man. It's crazy, yo.
What the hell?
We got the Boogaloo Boys, the Proud Boys. They getting ready, but what we getting?
We partying. We trying to hang out.
And my man at the end, Toke, the white guy at the end, he said, if I have to shoot somebody, I'm ready. Come on, yo. Could this be 2020 leading into 2021 where we see homeland terrorism? But they label black extremists homeland terrorists.
Yeah, they do. I was, excuse me, as a lot of people know, I've done a lot of media coverage for a popular activist group in the city by the name of New Era Detroit.
Right.
And there's once upon a time where one of the demonstrations that they held caused them to be put on a list where they were referred to as a homeland terrorist group. Which
demonstration was that?
I can't recall exactly which one. I don't know if it was. It was one where there was a lot of police activity. I don't want to say it was the Greenfield Plaza. I think it was something that happened in the city. I can't recall. But
okay.
Yeah, they were. And then they went to Chicago and had a very unpleasant encounter with Chicago police, where a lot of the members were arrested. You know what I mean? So, but I just say all that to say that yeah, that's true. That a lot of the organizations that exist right now in the black community that were centered around, building the black community, and enforcing certain morals and standards and codes in the black community that were labeled as terrorist groups. But we have these, and like I said, these are groups that were organized, organizations that were created for good and positive. I'm talking about they hand out food and
Right.
see them patrolling the neighborhoods and things like that. You don't see them on videos, out in the woods practicing gunfire, and things of that nature. But these are the ones that's labeled as terrorist groups. Why? Why?
That right there is deep, Mark, because we patrol in our neighborhoods. We want better for our neighborhoods, and we want to do for our neighborhoods. But yet, it's still, if we do that, we're terrorists.
We're labeled as a terrorist because of the action that we take.
Maybe of the police presence. Police presence, like you said, the police presence comes from the origin of police. We all know comes from, the runaway slaves. So if we oppose that or go against that, we're going against the system, right? Really, you know what I'm saying? What would
So
they
you
do?
have an organization that's in place basically to police their own communities.
Right.
Right.
Feed their communities.
And feed their communities. And then when we take a certain, like I said, response to certain things that happen in the community that the police aren't getting to the bottom of, or sometimes aren't even informed of, don't even know the details about.
Not a terrorist.
Then now you're seen as a terrorist.
That's deep, yo.
When we're doing not only more to help those in need in a positive situation, but we're doing more to combat the crimes and the negative things that are happening, and because of the notoriety that's received, or the fanfare, or just the, whatever, you're labeled as a terrorist because you're not using the system to solve your problems.
See, that's why we like to come with them videos, because you have to see what's really going on, because they're not putting that video on CNN. They're not putting it on Fox. They're not putting it on Channel 724, ESPN, none of that. You're not seeing none of that. But yeah, they're saying, yes, this transition is being real smooth. Everything in America is going smooth. But the country is in a gridlock, 50-50. Could there be a purge on both sides? Because right now you got a president saying he ain't
he doesn't concede.
He's not conceding to the president-elect right now, Biden and his crew. Then you got Biden and his crew with Fauci and everybody. They want to get this COVID that's under lock right now, which the COVID right now is causing mad hysteria right now. We got games canceled, all kind of shit going on.
The numbers are higher than they've ever been.
But see, what people were saying, when we walk outside our door, where is COVID? You might know some people we're not seeing it's not real. It is real. But you have a 97% chance of making it. That's what they saying, right?
Okay.
So what you got to worry about? When you got Ebola out here, I'm quite sure it's in America too. Somebody somewhere. You got flesh-eating diseases. Staph infections. You got flu viruses everywhere. Where's the flu this year? For real, where is the flu? Nobody's talking about the flu?
Or is it all COVID?
Everything's COVID. If I get into a car accident, it's COVID. This is the numbers that they add in it. Is inflated. The numbers is inflated because you have pharmaceutical companies right now that's invested in you being scared.
And I've seen conversations where people have talked about individuals, like where are the individuals that have died of cancer over the last couple of years?
We ain't hearing about it.
Right. And some people have said, well, the people that died of cancer, they died of cancer because the COVID that they had made the cancer worse. And so
everything is COVID.
Even if they died of cancer, right, it was because the COVID made the cancer worse. If they died of an asthma attack, it was because the COVID caused the asthma. They died of a heart attack, it was because the COVID caused something that made. I've been hearing that in the conversation.
Right.
Like, no matter what someone dies of, it is a result.
It's tallied into the COVID
it's something
results.
That COVID caused.
Right. You tallying into the COVID results. And so we all know this right now. We ain't going to say we all know it. Most know it, and they're rebelling against it. They're rebelling against this system of lockdown. And you got some people probably that's on the podcast. Oh, no, it's really serious. Oh, man, I'm telling you. They saying it's ramping up. How do they know this? Oh, they got the numbers?
I was watching the news.
But we just did stories, Mark, to where they said most of the results that was rolling out was faulty.
But here's my thing, right? But I want to know. Do you remember the condition that the hospitals were in when the thing first started?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, Sinai Ground Grace, we got Beaumont, St. John's. They was all.
But if the numbers are higher than they ever been, why are the hospitals not as full as they were?
Independent media.
The numbers are higher than they've ever been.
We got two different stories. We got independent media, and we got media. Media is telling you, oh, it's the boogeyman. Then we got independent media saying, man, listen, y'all, we got the results. We got this. We got nurses coming in. You know, independent media got more connects than media nowadays. How is that? Independent media has more connections. Yeah, they might have the high profile connections. But day-to-day stories, independent is winning. Anytime a mother or a father or any person can walk in the store and record a story, independent is winning. Because the news can't get there that fast. They done caught the shooting and everything live.
People come to me, man, with so much shit. Man.
Independent media is winning, people. We the independent media. Us. You know.
You know, and we can look at again, 7MileRadio. You can look at Mark D's page, man, and how much the news contacts him for different stories and different things that's happening in the neighborhood that he just so happens to be on the scene of before the mainstream news gets there.
Right.
It happens.
Main Street's still working off. I can remember a couple years they were still working off the scanners. I'm not saying scanners is not good, but the independent media would just work. You know, they was working off Twitter, off posts.
People think I got a police scanner. I've never owned one police scanner in my life. Never. I never even downloaded the app.
I downloaded it just, said.
I never even downloaded
listen
the
to
app.
what was going on.
It's just
in Detroit.
What I did have, I guess, recently, I guess you can say that's police scanner ish, but they got the what's that called? The Neighbors app. Neighbors and Citizens.
Well, I haven't seen that. That's something like what Ring got.
Neighbors and Citizens is Neighbors and Citizens is basically the app. Neighbors, I believe, is the app that partners with Ring to where when things happen, you can upload your videos to this social media. I guess this app to where people in the area can see it. But Neighbors is also, I guess, for you to report. Neighbors and Citizens, basically the same thing. You report anything that goes on. Right, I mean, there's people on there that report their dog missing. Right, all kinds of different things. If it was like it's been times where I've been sitting in the house before I'm going to sleep at night, and I hear shots, boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? And like a minute later, it pop up on the Neighbors app, like 14 shots just reported on, in the area of East 7 Mile and where, and oh damn, that shit just happened right there. Like that's independent media. That's the citizens, and us having actual media platforms cater to that kind of content.
And we have to better support our independent media too. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to believe our independent media when they're there on the front lines versus you got CNN, they'll roll up second and try to take over the story. Or Fox or any of them. Yep. But while we worried about all this, we have 33 kids that was found in Virginia. Here we go with these operations. Like I said, remember, Mark, we got to watch out for the operations that's going on. And they not just catching 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. They catching them in 10s, 33s, 107. And one Operation Sting, man, Mark. and we worried about the elections, and kids is being taken and found. You know, and us as Americans, we have to be ashamed of ourselves. We spend more time worried about the election than missing persons. Here we go again. And some of these stories you won't see on the mainstream media, people. Independent news have to bring it to you. They have to bring it to you because you won't see it.
And then a lot of times, man, it's how oftentimes do they have stories where they are unimportant or I won't say unimportant. That's insensitive to say, but they are not specific to that general area. You know what I mean? They have a lot of, per se, national news stories on local news when there's a lot of important local news that needs to be discussed. And then they'll take a 10-minute, 5-minute spot on this national news story that holds no relevance to the local audience. Then something that is local and huge that needs to be investigated and expounded on, they'll do a quick 30-second story on it. See what I'm saying? So even when they do, I say all of that to say that even when they do put some stories that are more relevant to us on the mainstream news, they don't give it much airplay.
Right.
They don't, they don't put much emphasis on it.
Because they bought and paid out.
That's why it's up to us.
They bought and paid for it, you know what I'm saying?
This clip that you got here with what's about the missing persons?
Yeah, this is in Roanoke, Virginia. Operation Find Our Children. It's a new operation. I think they found 33. And it's been major stings in Georgia, Ohio, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, where they finding all these kids, missing persons. They're not, like I said, they're not finding 2 and 3. They finding them in tens. People, wake up. While we worried about an election, we got the kids. They still being taken. You got still people being trafficked for sex, for parts, the whole nine. Let's keep the focus on that too. Let's not say, well, this person don't want to step down, or this person is the elect. This person is this. This person. Well, we got the Georgia Senate running right now. We need to be focused on that. When we have hundreds and we got thousands of people missing right now, and some probably that's watching this show or will ever watch this show in the future probably have people that's been missing and never found. Let's talk about that.
Let's play this video right quick.
Massive rescues of missing children.
It's called Operation Find Our Children. News Nation's Ashley Ketz is in the newsroom tonight with the latest successful mission out of Virginia. Marnie and Joe, missing children are extremely vulnerable to sex trafficking, emotional and physical harm, but 27 missing children are safe tonight. U.S. Marshals in Virginia recovered them during a 5-day operation, and they say this is just the beginning. The effort involves several local and state agencies, including the Roanoke Police Department and the Virginia Department of Social Services. Technology also played a big role in this operation. In Roanoke, marshals say they found a missing 16-year-old and 14-year-old girls.
Do some investigations that led to the location of both of these victims, and in one case, the child was being trafficked, and we were able to make at least 2 arrests.
Marshals say they will continue recovering children and vow to bring those who exploited them to justice. More information, including a list of those who have been arrested during the operation, will soon be made public. So far this year, U.S. Marshals have found more than 440 missing children. They've been reported missing out of states like Georgia, Ohio, Indiana, Louisiana, and Virginia, among other states. And since 2005, agents have found more than 2,000 missing children. The Department of Justice also says that over the past 5 years, agents have rescued children in 75%.
Yeah. Man, see? And we don't have enough of those stories. Because that's in Virginia, right?
Right. That's the new state. Last time on Truth Talk or the Hidden Hand, we came with the Ohio. We come with the Indiana. I mean, you have to search through the catalogs. We got, stories. But we've been dealing with this for a few years now, finding people. Stories that's not going to be on the mainstream, on how they finding these kids. 33 people was found in this thing. That's a lot. That's a whole job. That's like 2 or 3 jobs. And McDonald's on doing 2 shifts, you probably get about 30 people. 25. Maybe more.
That's
Worth
crazy.
of people being found right now. Kids, women, men being trafficked. Body parts.
And these are the ones being found.
They're being found in cages, in basements.
We're not talking about the ones that are never recovered. The ones that are out there right now.
Right. That's been put on ships.
In
People
other foreign
ones.
countries and don't know where the hell they at right now.
Submitting to sultans and prince, and you know what I'm saying? In Saudi Arabia and Dubai. Don't think they don't got people. They got people right now on the porn sites that they can't even identify, but it's up and running with bags on their head right now. People, with bags on their head right now, tied up. This shit is deep, people. And we living in the world right now. We in 2020. Everything we must see this year must be focused on and seen. This is how this year's running. We got the elections. To me seem like we if you put the focals to it, the bifocals to it, and the vision, to me it seemed like it was a fraud, dude.
Chris Lewis said trafficking is the largest industry in the world. Bigger
It is.
than banking and drugs.
Right. You got arranged marriages right now. You got traffic parts right now. You got
organ harvesting.
Organ harvesting is huge.
Come on, man.
They taking kidneys, people, hearts, limbs, and inserting them on themselves. They've been doing experiments. Let's look at the movie, The Island of Dr. Monroe. You might think it's far-fetched, but this shit is real. Look at that movie where they on islands just doing test shit with animals and people. This shit is real. You think the military ain't in on this shit to gain advantage? You have to be in on this. You wouldn't want to mix animal with human to gain an advantage in warfare? You have to be stupid if you think they ain't dealing with this. You got cases right now that has been out there right now of lawsuits, of companies being kicked out of the U.S. because they've been using embryos and shit.
The commercial term is logistics. I have heard that before.
On what?
The commercial term for the word they use to hide trafficking with. I mean, it's logistics.
Well, now it's not logistics. It's right now. It's algorithm too. That's the new one. Algorithm in the internet is the ways on how they can determine how you think.
Oh yeah. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? That's all goes on. On how you
the
vote.
Things that you post, the things that you talk and comment on, and
and it's all a graph too. Yeah. Algorithm. Like, let's watch the movie Minority Report. That worked off algorithm on, they was predicting who would create or who would commit a crime before it even happened.
Profiling like a motherfucker, huh?
Right? And they would come and arrest you before the crime even happened.
Damn.
It's like you was going to kill somebody 20 minutes later right now. So we got to arrest you before it happened. We got the video. You was going to do it. You like, what? And that movie is with Tom Cruise. And see, we have shit like this. That's really going on right now. And how really they gonna get these guns out of the U.S. citizens right now? How they gonna take all these guns and these bullets They want to put tracers on bullets. That's what Biden plan is to do. Put tracers on bullets. You want to put tax per box, $50 per box. You want to say, turn in your guns. If you don't turn in your gun, you got to sign this 10-page or 100-page letter. And if you get caught or something, you get jail time, 10 years. This is Biden's plan. Gun, to take your guns away.
But is this for, because I heard this conversation as well.
Right.
It's in regards to the gun rights talk and the Democrats wanting to take the guns. It was said that if you read the policies, if you read the legislation, the package that they presented, it was more so enforcing the gun rights in regards to people who shouldn't have guns in the first place.
Right.
As opposed to legal law-abiding
They
citizens.
think you shouldn't have guns. You the people watching. That's what it means. You shouldn't have guns. So if we put this $50 tax per box, you can't just go up and buy barrels of guns and commit crimes, is what they think. Why you need a barrel, why you need a whole barrel of bullets.
Right.
So, you got the box of bullets might be what, $9, $20, $30, but you got to pay $70 or $80 total for the box. $100 a box.
If that was gonna that's what I don't understand, man. Like doing things like that only make it harder for those who are law-abiding citizens, because if making a crime more illegal was going to be the determining factor whether a criminal commits a crime or not, they wouldn't be committing crimes in the first place. You know what I'm saying? If making the bullets more expensive is not going to bring crime down. You know what I'm saying? And if anything, that's going to make our crime go up, because now they got to do extra shit to get the money, to get the bullets that they need to go and do the atrocities that they're trying to, you know what I mean? So you're making it harder for the people who are law-abiding and, you know what I mean, working hard for their money.
But they don't care. They the candidates and they the politicians. They got security behind them that can afford the bullets. So they looking like, I can always get a gun. I got security. Politicians is covered with security. But,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We almost down to the last, go get that Moore's cookbook right now on Amazon.
Tell them to go get it. Well, why don't you give them one? Why don't you give them one? We should do a trivia question or something.
Yeah. I got 2 books, so we gonna give them away on 7 Mile Radio. 2 books right now. Well, I'm gonna give them to Mark. They're gonna be signed and dated.
All right, get them here. I'll figure it out.
And these are the limited edition versions right now. We got the back. These ain't the same ones on Amazon.
So what's the difference between those and the ones that are on Amazon?
These are my personal, the ones like when you see me, you can get these.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But you got Amazon too, which is really better. You got it's bigger. But these right now, this is my personal cover. I love this cover because it's royalty. So you got to see me to get these. These are the limited edition. Everybody don't got these covered. You got it too, Mark, right?
I got one. Yep.
Right.
So yeah, leave me them 2, and I'm gonna figure out a way to get.
I'm gonna sign them too for them. So when you give them away, judo woke case. You know what I'm saying?
All of the. Well, see, is this a vegan situation or is it?
No. This is more like everything on this book. I'm coming with a vegan one, and I got a 3-book deal. So I'm more coming with the next is gonna be vegan, vegetarian, and more smoothies. Everybody wants smoothies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So this one you got meat, veggies. You got like your restaurants in it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to go to your restaurants, you're around the world, and you want to roll up on certain restaurants. This is my recommendations right here. These is even some in Detroit. You even got more herbs on 7 Mile. Piece to more herbs. You know what I'm saying? If you want your vegan food, So I'm gonna sign these 2, and we gonna give it away. But if you don't, can't get it, go on Amazon.
Where they can find you at, bro?
Well, they can find me on Instagram, Judo Woke Ace. Hit me on the DM if you want some of these books. You can also find me on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube, Truth Talk Nation. Under that logo and all that. pretty much just trying to do my thing, man, Mark. You know what I'm saying?
Dig that. And you're here every Thursday, 5 o'clock, man, for the
Right.
God podcast, the Hidden Hand.
To the gods.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it is, man. So we're going to get it in every Thursday, 5 o'clock. Y'all be here and tune in, man. Judo Woke Ace. We out of here till next week, bro.
Another show.
Warning. You are now tuned in to 7 Mile